Hello students, this is a video to show you what is expected for homework number 1. Here the instructions are to create a glossary. This may change in the future, but you'll be creating a glossary in Boothmate. A simple glossary is something like this, where you have the English and the other language, in this case is Spanish, and you just have the terms in English and the other language. English, Spanish, English and Spanish. This is more of a bilingual dictionary, not so much a glossary, although this is what is expected for this first assignment. This is more a dictionary than a glossary. A glossary is something like this. You have the term in English, the term in the other language, and a definition. Now, here the definition is only in English, which is better than just a bilingual dictionary, but still, you want to create both later for your use. So you have an acquittal, absolución. So this definition, the state of being found not guilty, refers to the English, of course. Now, some of the assignments I see that are not acceptable are something like this. You only have the Spanish in this case, the definition within the same column, so there's no distinction. And I'll show you how to create columns in just a moment. But this is not a bilingual dictionary, much less a glossary, so don't do something like this. You want to create both languages, so you have a bilingual document here. In here, when you submit your link, this person submitted the login page instead of the actual link that you would have right here. But when you share it, you're supposed to get something like this, not the login page like this, because when I clicked to go find this dictionary, since I'm already logged in, this is my account, I'm already logged in, it just took me to my dashboard and not to the person's actual dictionary. Something like this is not usable at all. So I'll show you in just a moment how to create the columns in Boothmate. Here you have the English. This is one cell. If you look at this, how it's grayed out. This is grayed out. This is one cell. This is one cell, and that's about it. This is not what we want to see. So you have the English term with a definition. English term with a definition. You have the English term, the Spanish term, and the definition in Spanish. You have the English term, the Spanish term with the definition in Spanish. So this is not workable. I'll show you how in just a moment. Again, this is a proper one where you have the English term, the Vietnamese term, the other language you're working with, and you should be able to choose right aligned, because this is a little bit too far apart when you see it, but that is not wrong, it's just one of the settings there. In here, again, you have a good improvement where you have the English definition, the other language with the English term, which is not actually the English term. This should be the English definition. The definition is here. So this should go here, this column. The English term is this, the definition is this. So the way you change them around is if you have an English definition, you can slide them like this, and now you have the English, the definition, the Spanish. But the columns here are not properly formed because the definition should be here, the English term, this is the English term, that should be here. So you can redo this. And this is the one I created, and I just brought it up to show you how to add columns. So you have the English term, in my case the Spanish term, and if you want to add the definition, you can make these, when was it modified, when was it created, editor, actions, glossaries, etc. So this, for this assignment, would be enough. This is enough to get a grade, a passing grade. You have the English term, the Spanish term, or the Vietnamese in your case. If you wanted to go beyond, and you can do this later, you can add it to your current glossary if you want to, is you go to new column. How do you want to add a column? by creating a new column. What type of column do you want? So here you can add more than just text. You can add text language, text miscellaneous. You can add an image or the pronunciation. You can add a video explaining the term. You can add a file, add a link. You can add many things in the different columns. For our purposes, I'm going to add text miscellaneous, and I want this to be the English definition. So I have definition. This is Spanish definición. So definition, and I create a column, and it's right here. It's at the top. See, it's going to add it at the top. So I want the English next to the definition, but I want the English term before the definition. So all I have to do is grab the English here, English United States. You can abbreviate EOS if you want to, because if you're going to be creating several columns, you can add English US. Grab it from the dots over here above definition. So the way these are, from top to bottom, are going to be from left to right. So then I would write the definition. What is the definition of board policy? If I wanted to add the Spanish definition, again, I go to new column. I want to create a new column, and I want to add text miscellaneous, and I want this to be called definición. Again, it's going to create it at the top, which is going to be left. And if I want it at the right of Spanish, I just bring it down to Spanish, underneath Spanish. And now I can add the definitions. So you can work it this way. So you have the English term, English definition, Spanish term, Spanish definition. Or if you wanted to keep the terms together and then the definitions back to back, then all you have to do is bring this before definition. So you go here, bring Spanish before definition. In this case, you have the English-Spanish dictionary with the added definitions in English and in Spanish. And that's it for this assignment. If you've already turned yours in and it's graded, you don't have to worry about it. If you have not been graded, then please make the corrections that I have noted in your assignment or that you can make after watching this video.